booties for black girl nerds.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. I really appreciate it. I think that there's nothing more compelling than a villain origin story, because ultimately we want to know what motivates someone to go down a really dark path. So how did you connect with Craven's origin story, and what do you think audiences will find more interesting about this journey?
Yeah, I think it's all of what you said is really interesting, and I think that was the huge challenge to kind of take this iconic villainous character and kind of go down the road, like find the empathy, right, for our protagonist. Like, how did he go on this journey? Where did it come from? How did he become Craven? And that's really just exciting. And it's so interesting to take the source material and work backwards. I mean, never have I had a character where, like a comic book character which is like, and Craven's last hunt, and this is the end of his life and career. So to kind of work your way backwards and see what sort of demons he was battling with is to really go back to the root. And in our story, it's a beautiful family drama. There's this family saga where these two boys are being brought up in a very dark, toxic environment where their father is this, head Russian gangster. And you see what's happening with their mother, and then there's really no love there at all. So they're sort of a product of this sort of toxic environment and abuse. And they don't want to be a part of the business. They don't want to be a part of the family business. They want out, right? And that takes Sergei Kravinoff down a journey of his villainous path. It's the beginnings of his villainous path. And he thinks he's got a moral code, and yet I think ultimately it takes him far beyond what his father's doing, and possibly far worse. So it's really interesting and complex to see that, but he's charismatic and there's empathy there. So, are you rooting for him? Can you understand his prospects? It's like, it's just a really engaging way of seeing a character that you've seen in the comic books and bringing him to life on screen. So that was fun.
I, I love the fact that we've got this villain that we kind of are rooting for him, and that's what makes these kind of villains so interesting and fascinating to watch, and seeing their journey unfold on screen. And speaking of comic books, Craven has hunted and gone up against a number of our favorite superheroes. He's gone up against notably Spider-Man, Black Panther, even Wolverine. So if you had a choice of a superhero that you would like to go up against with toe to toe on the big screen, who would you choose and why?
I think it's more about the audience. Who do they want to see my character go toe to toe with? I gotta say, I was a huge fan of Craven's Last Hunt. I love that story. I think it's really unique and interesting. And I, for one, would love to see that brought to life on screen. I think if we've done our job right and everyone kind of comes and sees this, and that there's a success for this, if there's an excitement to see this character go beyond, which I really hope there is. In 3 years in development, creating this character, I think I'm super proud of it, and I'm excited to share it with the world. But yeah, he does go up against some really interesting superheroes. And I will say, when you see the fight sequences and the action that we have in this movie, and the fact that we made it R-rated, it would be so interesting to see, who on that list does the audience want to see us go toe to toe with. So I leave that with you guys.
Good answer, Aaron. Good answer. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds. I can't wait for everybody to see this movie. And yeah, it's going to be some intense action scenes that folks are going to be ready and waiting to see. So appreciate the conversation today.
Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
shake your booties for black girl nerds.